Man, it is Friday, August 23rd. Man, how the hell did this month go by this quickly? I got back to St. Louis on the 31st of July. So I've almost been here for a month. Crazy how that goes. But overall, things are definitely going well. Man, the DNC, when Obama got first got elected in 2008, I think, a junior in high school, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was a junior in high school at the time. And you know, I wasn't really yet paying super close attention to politics, but from what I can remember and from what I've heard, Fritza, what's going on, Fritza? How you doing today? It is a lovely day. The bear fucker. You talking about JFK? I mean, not JFK, RFK Jr. Honestly, I'm, I don't even have any stories pulled up about that because but I mean, I don't think that's really going to make a difference in terms of like, I think, for sure, some of his voters will vote for Trump, some of them will vote for Kamala, and some of them won't show up to the polls. So I think that realistically, it's about even. I mean, listen, the Republican Party is in, I don't know if I've ever seen them being in this bad of a position ever. Like Donald Trump and you know his influence over the Republican Party has been an absolute shit show. I mean, Lindsey Graham, one of the things that he said before Trump got elected is that if we, if we elect Trump, we're going to lose and we'll deserve it. But Donald Trump's influence, his hand in the reversal of Roe v. Wade, and just how he is hurting down ballot elections, how he is casting a shadow over the Republican Party in such a way that they have no credibility. You know what I'm saying? Like there's the Republican Party has no leg to stand on when it comes to much of anything. They don't have any room to criticize. They don't have any room to pretend like they have policies or better policies because the entire Republican apparatus is about one man. It's a cult of personality. It's all about Donald Trump. And the problem with that, I mean, there's so many issues with that. But right now, Donald Trump is completely spiraling out of control. And it's not going to stop. Like, he's not going to magically get his shit together. And even if he did, it's too late. It's too late. But he's not going to do that. And so as he goes down the drain, so will the rest of the party until they can somehow get off of it, until they can somehow move on. And even when that happens, like, Republicans are going to be losing overall for years, because again, it's going to take a while to really get past this. They have to completely reinvent themselves, completely restructure who their outreach is. Right now, it's just immigrants bad, immigrants bad, immigrants bad, immigrants bad. That's all it is. Anti-LGBTQ, anti-woman, anti anybody really. So unless they can somehow move away from that, you know what I'm saying? At least, I mean, not at least, unless they're able to move away from that, then culturally they're just going to stay stagnant because you're only going to be able to get so many people to hop on that train, especially when you're losing and losing and losing and losing. They've been losing for years now. Democrats have been overperforming the polls. They're going to overperform the polls again in this election. You know what I'm saying? And it's not even just because of the Kamala Walls ticket and the complete destruction shit show of the Trump campaign, but in a lot of multiple states, important ballot initiatives are up for voting, such as protecting abortion rights, such as raising a minimum wage. Things like that are going to bring even more people out. So, again, it's could they have gone with Nikki Haley? Could they have gone with Ron DeSantis? Pretty much anybody else that they would have gone with would have allowed them to not suffer as greatly as they're about to. I mean, look, listen, if y'all thought that it was bad when Obama was president in terms of just their overall just cartoonish racism, it's about to get even worse. So, again, that's not obviously, what I'm not doing right now is pretending like the Democratic Party's perfect. That's obviously not what I'm doing. But what I am saying is that it is really amazing to watch the complete destruction of the Republican Party because of this cult that they have around Trump. It's really something to see. But let's take let's take advantage of. We got Mike Boy in the building, whose birthday was yesterday. My man's turned 27. Who else we got? We got Ishanti. We got Lord of Bananas. We got Look at the Trees. We got Triple I, Triple I. Oh, well, Triple I, yes, yes, I do. And we've been having a good time on the channel, and I'm doing my best to get back into my other programming, and we will be soon. But I'm just, hold on, what is this? Oh, I just got a text. My bad. Let me put it on mute. But yeah, man, it's just it's really something to watch. It's like, y'all, yeah, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Like, I mean, it's we still got 2 months and some days to see, but what's for 81 people ain't voting for Trump this time. It's not happening. Um, it's really something to see. It's really incredible. And and two, and we'll get into some of this. I mean, the culture of the Republican Party right now is just despicable. I mean, they're making fun of Tim Walz' son. One of the most beautiful moments that I personally ever seen in my life. Just genuine love and admiration for Tim Walz, a man who, has basically been a public servant his whole life, who's gone out of his way to show love and compassion and kindness to people. And in a lot of places and times when he didn't necessarily have to, you know what I'm saying? Like the amount of people, all business, baby. Exactly. We got to be all business, man. It's time to get this money and this power so that we can actually make some shit happen. You know what I'm saying? It's time. It's time to handle it. Um. And again, happy birthday to my brother as well. Again, but but yeah, like that was one of the most heartfelt moments that anybody could have seen, and they're like calling him we'll get into it. They called him, weird. Oh, this is weird. And culture is getting dragged through the mud. And she was like, oh, I deleted it as soon as I found out he was autistic, even if he wasn't. Like, what? Like, these people are just, they're so unbelievably unattractive. And again, unless they change that, they're going to continue to be very easy to beat. Because what are they talking about? Nothing. It's unbelievable to watch. But let's get into it because I got a lot of stuff open. I haven't streamed for the last couple of days. And Donald Trump is just in complete denial. He's just in total denial. This dude on the news yesterday, the other day, talking about no, Kamala's not doing well. I'm doing well. I'm up in all the polls. Like, bro, no, you're not. So it's just, it's crazy. Oh, we got Nick. Hold on, let's get into this. We got Nick Fuentes going to war with Candace Owens for the anti-Semitic crown. He says she was coming for our thing. So we gonna get into that. First, we gonna get into that. We got. Hold on, let me pull this up. Nick Fuentes says, "No, no, no, no. I am king anti-Semitism." Okay, he said, "I am king racism. I am king anti-Semitism. I am king virgin." Because according to Nick Fuentes, when a man has sex with a woman, somehow that's gay. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with gay sex. I mean, do your thing if that's what you do. Be yourself, live your life. But it's just a bit of a strange breakdown. It's really a bit of a strange breakdown. All right, let's see. Ooh, where we at? Yeah, nah, man. Again, it's really amazing to watch because it's like he is just going down, down, down. Like his ability to just function at all is gone. It's completely gone. Uh, but yes, here we go. My man's Nick Fuentes said, I will not be outdone in my racism. I will not be outdone. All right, neo-Nazi Nick Fuentes is not happy with former Daily Wire personality Candace Owens for coming. Oh, a little bit of a typo here. For infringing on his turf and appealing to his anti-Semitic audience. After previously praising her for her descent into the fever swamp, Fuentes recently mused that he doesn't know how much I really even support what Candace is doing anymore because she's muddying the waters. She's muddying the waters with her dark skin and her melanin. He said, "No, no, you dirtying up the streams. You can do your thing from the sidelines, but We got to stick to our morals and our principles. We can't have none of y'all up in this. He said, I had no problem, no complaint until one, she started getting a lot of the facts wrong, which really damages all of our credibility, because y'all got so much credibility to begin with. Because you're already pushing a topic which is very taboo and very challenging for a lot of people to get behind. Well, at least he knows that. It's really hard to get people to get behind our great, fantastic ideas. It's a tough sell because you got to wake people up. And it's very complex and it's a very big issue. And so when you bring these arguments, you really need to know your stuff. Yep. Nick Fuentes knows his shit. He definitely knows his shit. That's for sure. All right. He continued. And so when she started to get a lot of this stuff wrong, she came out and said the Russian Revolution happened in the 80s. And she's calling them the Bolsheviks. And she says that, she gets all the details wrong about that. And then she says Joseph Stalin was Jewish. Stalin was not Jewish. And then she says Ataturk was secretly Jewish. Ataturk was not secretly Jewish. And when I didn't say anything, I said, whatever, I said, oh, well, not everyone's perfect. I said, yeah, it's not really a good look. But, she's learning. She's coming along. She's coming along. She's still a Padawan. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? She hasn't really entered the Jedi trials yet. She has yet to face the Jedi trials, to become a knight. She's not yet a Jedi knight. So she certainly is not a Jedi master. And she damn sure ain't no Jedi grandmaster. You know what I mean? So she's coming along though. She is coming along. I would say where Candace Owens is right now in her Jedi journey is right when where's that place? When the Padawans go and they get their crystals. What are they called? Kyber crystals or something? They go to Hoth, or that ice planet Hoth, and they go on their journey. That's where Candace Owens is right now in her Jedi journey. He continues. I said she's going to get on the ball eventually. So I didn't say anything. I held my tongue, even though that was not really a good look, okay? And when Nick Fuentes talks, he does a lot of this and stuff. You feel me? Like he does a whole lot of that. I ain't gonna lie. When I talk, especially when I'm doing a show or something, and I got to look at the camera, I be blinking a whole lot because I'm rolling off Ritalin. You know what I'm saying? And when the speed is going, I don't know, it just does something weird with your eyes. But that's how he does his thing. So she'll get there eventually. You can't go really hard like that and stake the reputation of you and everybody on this and then get it wrong really severely over and over. She's talking about, all this stuff that it just doesn't even really make any sense. He has literally said nothing. The whole time we've read this, he hasn't said anything. But yeah, there you go. You know what I'm saying? There you go. Let's watch it.
Slavik Lukovic sent $50.
I don't know how much I really...
Okay, here we go.
But I really felt your pain the other day when you expressed the same sentiment. Seeing Dan, Tate and Candace lose a debate to some random Jew on 100K Twitter space because they don't really know what they are talking about is not a W actually.
Hello? Yeah, that's okay. I've decided I just no longer really...
Good point, Booker. I do remember that when he was crying on the stand. They were supporting him for that. But they can't support, a son loving and admiring his father because, of course, they're not familiar with things like that. But they are familiar with the desire to shoot people, because Americans love that.
I don't know how much I really even support what Candace is doing anymore because she's muddying the waters.
I feel you, brother.
A lot of people are saying it's you are jealous that she's dealing in Dave Smith and not you. That's not the case. I've been very supportive of her, even though she has really not acknowledged me in any way, shape, or form. And people say, oh, you're picking a fight unnecessarily. They say it's about your ego. You're trying to make it about yourself. Well, look, I had no problem, no complaint until one, she started getting a lot of the facts wrong, which really damages all of our credibility because you're already pushing a topic which is very taboo and very challenging for a lot of people to get behind, and it's very complex and it's a very big issue. And so when you bring these arguments, you really need to know your stuff and not you can't expect perfection every time, but you really need to know what you're talking about. You can't go in half-cocked, because if you go in half-cocked and you get a lot of stuff wrong, then people say, well, what else are they wrong about? Maybe the establishment is right. Maybe the institutions are right. And people,
if you don't get your racism and your bigotry just right, it's not going to sell with the public. You got to get it just right, or else people just aren't going to buy your arguments.
don't talk about this for a reason, because it's wrong, because they're a bunch of cranks. So you really need to get it right. And so when she started to get a lot of this stuff wrong, she came.
I don't know. I hope she does. I'm not sure. I really don't have any insight into if she's gonna do that or not. I hope she does, but I don't know. But I do think that regardless, I think Nina Turner will continue to be a powerhouse in the progressive movement that people need. There's a lot of things that the progressive movement needs. And if any of y'all are following me on Instagram, I've been criticizing the shit out of the progressive movement for a couple weeks now, but out of love, you know what I'm saying? But I think that there's a lot of things that the progressive movement needs, and she's definitely one of them. So whether or not she runs for Congress again, I expect her to continue to be a very powerful influence in the country. She is very well. First and foremost, she's a hell of a woman, and she is very passionate, and she means what she says what she means, and she very much believes in the path that she's walking. And also, she's very effective at communicating that message, because when you really break down, my biggest criticism of the progressive movement is I think that large chunks of it don't have an effective approach. It's not the policies that are the issue. It's the way that a lot of people in the movement can go about things. But I think that she does a very good job at just really normalizing, because we have to, because of the media scrutiny, but really normalizing progressive positions. Because ain't nobody talking about handing over the means of production to the government. People are, we'd like to see the Medicare system expanded. We'd like to see minimum wage go up. We'd like to see the education system be more affordable and impactful. You know what I'm saying? So I think she's very good at getting those messages across. And I also think that she's very impactful at really, effectively communicating the Palestinian struggle and cause. Just because of AIPAC's influence over the whole country, but also within the Democratic Party, I think that she is a voice that we'll continue to need. I think there's a lot of other things that the progressive movement needs, but I very much look forward to continuing to support Nina Turner.
Came out and said the Russian Revolution happened in the 80s. And she's calling them the Bolshevists. And she says that, she gets all the details wrong about that. And then she says Stalin was Jewish. Stalin was not Jewish. And then she says Ataturk was secretly Jewish. Ataturk was not secretly Jewish. And then is very troubling and very disturbing. And if you keep pushing on that, it gets you in a lot of trouble, a world of trouble. So now we're seeing the back.
It's almost as if he knows that his ideas are very unpopular, but we'll move on because I got a lot of shit open. Okay. So, again, how Republicans responding to the DNC that was way more successful than the RNC in like every possible imaginable way, including the ratings, which people like Donald Trump care about. Stuff like that, is really what drives Donald Trump. The ratings, how many people watched, and a lot more people watched the DNC and liked it. And also, I mean, bro, he's in so much shit, man. He's in so much fucking trouble. But yeah, so we'll get to that. Let's see. We got and how are they responding to it? Well, we got Lara Trump saying that the DNC was giving out tacos and abortions to attendees. And I don't how, how is this going to work for y'all? And then, Donald Trump, he goes around almost every day, he, calling into Fox News talking about, for the last 52 years, everybody wanted Roe to be reversed. That's what everybody wanted. Republicans and Democrats, everybody wanted abortion to be illegal. And I returned it to the states, and now everybody's happy about it. Like, no, not only is everyone not happy about it, but you're also a unspeakable moron for talking about this all the time. He talks about it all the time. Of course, right before right before he brags about the reversal of Roe v. Wade, what he'll do is he'll say, it was a coup against Joe Biden. It was a coup, and he can't stop saying that. But yeah, of course, this is how it goes. You know what I'm saying? That's how they get it going, handing out tacos and abortions. Make sure you get pregnant before you come to the DNC, or else you can't get in. Every single woman at the DNC would. I mean, like, what is this? These people have the minds of like of 15-year-olds. Like, they really do. Like, these people are children. And this is the biggest reason why people are just flooding to Kamala Harris, because it's like the other side is so ridiculous. So ridiculous. Hold on, let's say they have a mobile abortion van. What? They have a mobile abortion van. You get a taco and an abortion. These people are so unintentionally hilarious. Dangerous, but hilarious. You get a taco and an abortion in the mobile abortion van. You get a vasectomy and a snow cone at the DC, she told the show host. And they continued to lie about Donald Trump wanting to sign a federal abortion ban. Yeah, it's such a lie. It's such an unbelievable lie. The man who goes around bragging about it, no way he would do that. There's no way he would do that. So they lie and they trash Trump. That's the whole DNC wrapped up in a little box for you. There you go. Abortions and tacos. What a brilliant woman. What a brilliant and very strategically effective approach these people have. I'm like, again, it's like they play spin the wheel. Spin the wheel, and every single option they get is something that's just going to turn people off from them even more. And so I don't understand. And then, we'll look at this. I don't know if y'all saw this, but this is a group of a focus group, undecided swing state voters after Kamala's speech. And pretty much all of them said, I'm gonna vote for Kamala. Pretty much all of them said that. So, again, it's all of this shit can't be fake. It all can't be fake. Hold on. Do I have this pulled up on the screen? My bad, y'all. So let's see.
We never gave up, because the future is always worth fighting for.
Out of all of these people, only one of them said they were going to vote for Trump, and one of them said, I don't know, but all of the rest of them were like Kamala, 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 Kamala.
And that's the fight we are in right now, a fight for America's future.
Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris portraying herself as
Arlinda knows. You know what I'm saying? She knows. She made that correction. There were no tacos, abortion pills, yes, but no tacos, because I guess too much of an expense on the beef. You know what I'm saying? Too much money going to the beef and the chicken and the lettuce or whatever that is.
an underdog candidate and a fighter. She addressed her party's convention on this closing night here in Chicago. Right now, we're getting reaction to the vice president's speech from some undecided voters in the crucial battleground of Pennsylvania. Seeing as Gary Tuchman is in Allentown. So, Gary, who's with you, and what are they saying about the speech?
I can't get the screen bigger.
Well, Anderson, we do come to you from Allentown in the heart of the beautiful Lehigh Valley in eastern Pennsylvania. And we are with 8 residents of the Lehigh Valley who've been watching television with us tonight and watching Kamala Harris's speech. I do want to say they all have something in common. As you said, Anderson, None of these people before tonight have made a decision about who they will vote for in November. And at least one person here before tonight wasn't sure she was going to vote at all because she doesn't like either of the candidates. Also, what they have in common, 5 of these people, they are all 5 of them loyal union members from the UAW local, United Auto Workers here in the Lehigh Valley. So thank you all for being here. First thing I want to ask you, I want you to grade the speech, okay? A is excellent, B above average, C average, D below average. We all know what F is. Let's start with you. How do you grade the speech?
I gave her a B plus.
B.
B plus.
A.
B plus.
A.
A.
C.
C. So mostly A's and B's with 1 C. I want to ask you why you made the decision you made. First of all, we start with Scott, who is the president of the UAW local here in the Lehigh Valley. Scott, what grade did you give it again?
B plus.
How come?
I gave her the high grade because I thought she looked very confident. I liked how she spoke from her heart. I liked her message of unity and the division that we have in America. I like her fight for the middle class and families. The reason I didn't give her an A was I thought she needed to go into a little more detail on some of her plans, of how she would, do some of the things that she envisioned.
Okay, Lindsay, you're in sales. You're the person who wasn't sure she was going to vote for anybody because you don't like either of these 2 candidates. I'll ask you more about that in a minute, but first, what grade did you give the speech?
I gave it a B.
How come?
I thought it was a good speech. I mean, she did what she was supposed to do. I liked that she was talked about her upbringing, made it feel a little more like personal. But yeah, I thought it was a good speech.
Okay, Andy, you're also with the UAW. You make cars and trucks for us Americans, so thank you for that, along with the rest of you. Your grade again was?
B plus.
And how come B plus?
I liked her plan for the middle class. Like my wife's a nurse. I'm an auto worker. I'm as middle class as you can get. I just felt like she should go a little more in depth. But I guess I understand you can't really go as in depth in these speeches. But
I think realistically, again, and pretty much all my commentary for how this shit has been is more what's going to happen in the race. I don't think I've ever come off as like a super Kamala fan. I'm happy to see her in the position that she's in, but I'm not like I don't really view anybody like that. My job, and especially going forward, is to, influence the party in as many ways that I can, get people elected in as many races as I can, in local elections all over the country. So there's a lot of work to be done in a lot of ways. Yeah, I think B plus is a fair rating. I think that's definitely fair. And also too, the criticisms they're giving are good. If you're gonna get criticized, these are good ones to have in terms of she could have went more in depth because her policy positions are available online, and also there's only so much that you can say within a speech. So if they're going to criticize you for something, then that's a good thing to have, instead of like, oh, she didn't seem presidential, she didn't really seem like she can do the job. Because if people were saying that, then they would be like, oh, she got a D, she got a C minus or something like that. But yeah, no, I think that's definitely a fair, anything from a B to an A, I can understand people giving, or even less than that. But again, these are pretty much all the criticisms. But again, one person said they're gonna vote for Trump, and one person said undecided. Obviously, this is a small focus group, but it's just kind of good insight into what the polls are showing, and at this last minute, how people are likely thinking about the decision. Again, on the other side, you got Donald Trump, who is completely losing his mind on a daily basis.
a little bit more would have been nice.
Okay, Donna is your mother.
Yes.
Donna's a retired dental hygienist. Donna, what grade did you give it again?
I gave her an A.
And how come an A?
Because she hit all the points that I wanted to know about. I wanted to know more about her economic policies, her foreign policy. I know she couldn't go into depth about that, but I mean, I felt that she looked very presidential. She sounded presidential, and I think she's going to be a unifier.
Yeah, by the way, going into tonight, Andy was 60-40 with Kamala Harris.
Yes.
You were 50-50, which is interesting. We'll talk more about that in a second. Patrick, also with the UAW. Dwayne, you gave it again?
A B plus.
How come B plus?
Well, she was very confident in what she was saying. She showed leadership ability and understanding of the topics at hand. But again, she didn't go in depth.
Again, they're all saying the same thing, but from a normie perspective, I can understand why people would say this. But again, you know, these details exist in terms of like where they may be online. So like she's in a strong position.
Like what she said about what she's going to try to do for the middle class, about a tax break for us, which will be very nice, but still a little bit more information on some of the things that she's planning on doing.
Sean, also at the UAW, the grade you gave it again?
I gave her an A.
How come?
I was looking for policy information. I really wanted to see some substantive policy information. And I thought she did give enough. I like what she gave on military, what she wants to do for our veterans, and with border control. I just think that she has a lot of good ideas, and she's very well spoken. I think she was very professional.
Sabrina is your daughter and also a UAW member, helping to make cars and trucks for America. Your grade again?
A.
How come an A?
I think she was very well spoken. She was very clear on what her policies were and elaborated on them with the time given, and the fact that she's wants to bring back rights for women.
And Brian, you're in real estate. You're a nice guy too.
I can't lie. This is the guy who said he's going to vote for Trump, and this was kind of a silly answer that he gave. But hey, it's an answer, and this, you know, I get this could be reflective on some people's thinking. But I think I think this is kind of a silly answer that he's going to give.
Like everyone on this panel, and you gave the only C. How come you gave a C?
She wasn't clear enough on the policies. She did speak a lot of her personal history, which was great. But I still don't feel like she's ready. I feel like more so she should wait. I don't want to, per se, vote for someone that is a backup.
All right. It's a perspective, but to me, that's a silly perspective because it's like she's not ready, but Trump is ready. It just, you know, you don't want to vote for someone who's a backup, but you want to vote for someone who lost to Joe Biden. Like, you know, so that this answer, I don't know. That just seems kind of silly to me. But everyone else, he said he's going to vote for Trump. One of the ladies said that she's undecided, but everybody else was like Kamala. So yeah, but no, just some you know, interesting perspectives right there. Let's see. We went over this a little bit the other day, but this you know, especially this is treason. Donald Trump got caught up committing treason. And I don't know, I don't know how much pressure he's going to get for this. I don't know how deeply people are going to look into this, but this is treason. You know, him calling up Netanyahu trying to interfere in what's going on is, as Mike Boyd pointed out last time we streamed, highly illegal. Watchdog accuses Trump of breaking the law with reported Netanyahu call. The watchdog group American Muckrakers is accusing former President Donald Trump of violating the Logan Act for allegedly holding a phone call with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. And again, I don't, of course he did this. Why wouldn't he have done this? One, because he's an idiot. He doesn't think. And two, you know, Netanyahu was all up in Mar-a-Lago, you know. So what do you think he was saying to Netanyahu in Mar-a-Lago? Why is this not something that Trump would do? I 100% believe that he did this. Axios reported that Trump and Netanyahu spoke on the phone Wednesday, August 14th, and discussed the Gaza ceasefire and hostage release deal currently being negotiated. Both Netanyahu and Trump denied the call took place. Of course, Trump said he broke with Netanyahu about the war on Gaza in person at Mar-a-Lago on July 26, where he encouraged him to end it as quickly as possible. And this is from American Muckrakers right here. We provided Judge Juan Merchant and NYC Department of Probation's Commissioner Juanita Holmes. I said Holmes. Juanita Holmes, a copy of our letter regarding Donald Trump's alleged Logan Act violation. So there it is right there. In a letter addressed to New York Judge Juan Merchant, American Muckrakers claimed that conversation may have been a violation of the Logan Act by negotiating and or interfering with Netanyahu. Merchant is the judge overseeing Trump's New York hush money case, and American Muckrakers hoped he'd take the information into consideration for his sentencing. The Logan Act was passed in 1799 and makes it illegal for unauthorized Americans to engage with foreign governments regarding disputes with the United States. Only 2 people have ever been charged in the country's history, so it's unlikely Trump would face any consequences, even if the call went exactly the way American muckrakers allege. Yeah, I mean, again, that's why I said I don't know what would actually be done about this. I don't know how much pressure would come from this, but I 100% believe that it happened. I mean, why wouldn't that have happened? That you know what Trump's stance is, you know the type of shit he's always saying. So I mean, some of what he does now, he goes around talking about no one's ever done more for Israel than me, like, whatever that means. I don't really even know what that's supposed to mean. But you know, Trump's just flailing. Let me see. Oh, I got so much stuff up. Hold on, let's go into this. Let's go into this real quick. We got Donald Trump rambling on Fox News for 5 minutes. And again, this is what he does. What he called, whatever he gets off one show, he calls him to another show. And then like he called into like 3 shows on Fox News, and then he called into Newsmax. He's just making his rounds, doing his thing. All right.
Mr. President, when you listen to the DNC and all the speeches, they're spreading so many different lies, and we eat, breathe, and sleep this, as you do too, more than we do. Right. And you know that what they're saying is wrong, but you don't hear your take. There's no one fact checking. And here is Governor Tim Walz trying to still connect you to Project 2025. Listen.
Some folks just don't understand what it takes to be a good neighbor. Take Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. Their Project 2025 will make things much, much harder for people who are just trying to live their lives. They spent a lot of time pretending they know nothing about this. But look, I coached high school football long enough to know, and trust me on this, when somebody takes the time to draw up a playbook, they're going to use it. And we know if these guys get back in the White House, they'll start jacking up the costs on the middle class. They'll repeal the Affordable Care Act. They'll gut Social Security and Medicare. And they will ban abortion across this country, with or without Congress. Here's the thing. It's an agenda nobody asked for. It's an agenda that serves nobody except the richest and the most extreme amongst us.
All right, so this is your chance to set the record straight. What's your response?
Well, first of all, he's a total lightweight, and he shouldn't be even having any access to possibly being president.
Oh God, it's gotten so old, but it's so funny to listen to this loser call other people losers. You know, anytime anyone says anything remotely negative about him, he's like, you know, the very unpopular governor for Arkansas, the failed news media, the failed corporate news. You know, everybody's a failure and a loser, but not Donald.
President, the guy, he's been a terrible governor. They've had nothing but problems in their state. He has no capability. They call him coach. He's a semi-coach. He coached some football for a little while. This guy is a lightweight, and he shouldn't have access. And for him to say about Project 25 is disgraceful. They know I have nothing to do with it.
Nothing
I had
at all.
no idea what it
Nothing to do
was.
with
A group of people got together. They drew up some conservative values, very conservative values, and in some case, perhaps they went over the line, perhaps they didn't. I have no idea what Project 25 is, but they use it and they know it. Just like Charlottesville, totally discredited. They use Charlottesville. You know, Biden gets up all the time, says Charlottesville. He ran because of Charlottesville. He got run out of office by the Democrats. They did a coup on him, and he's sitting someplace in California on a beach. And because he's in California, it's crime-ridden place. It's not the same place. More people
did a coup. Bro, he is never ever gonna shut up about that. I promise you, he's not. And now he's talking about how, you know, California is a, you know, terrible place where nobody can, you know, you can't even go to the store. You know, you can't do anything. It's such a terrible crime-ridden place.
People leaving than coming, and all of the things that these people have done. Kamala has been the worst. Everything she touched turned bad. California turned bad. San Francisco, you can't walk into San Francisco. You barely can go into California anymore.
You can't even walk around San Francisco.
It's a state that's in terrible, terrible crime trouble and every other form of trouble, monetary trouble. It's got nothing. Drugs all over the place. You go into Los Angeles, you can't walk down the streets. It's a shame between Gavin Newsom, but it was really more Kamala because she was your district attorney in San Francisco. San Francisco is unlivable now. Unlivable. 15 years.
Yeah, it's so funny when it pans back to them because they're just sitting there quiet, like, is he ever going to stop talking? Can you please stop talking? Like, he just won't shut up, and they're like, like they're just like the whole country is just watching this man completely collapse.
Years ago, it was the most beautiful city, one of the greatest cities in the world. Today, it's unlivable. It's going to have to be, hopefully, be able to be brought back if that's possible. Kamala, who's a Marxist and a radical left, frankly, she's a radical left lunatic. And if she became our president, if this country would turn out to be a big version of San Francisco or a big version of California itself. So
California is like the 5th or 6th largest economy on the whole planet. Like it's one of the most successful states, which is really another word for nation. It's one of the most successful states / countries in the world. Like, it's so funny when they criticize it the way that they do, but the whole country is going to be like California. Well, that'd be pretty fucking awesome. Shit, if the whole country got on board with California's politics, it would probably be a much better place to be for everybody.
These guys, they talk about that. They talk about all different things that they know are totally discredited. They have a thing with soldiers where I'm looking over the graves of soldiers and saying a horrible thing about dead soldiers from World War I. It was totally made up. It was a made-up story, confirmed. That was confirmed, my side of it, by 26 people in the military that it never happened. They had one lunatic talking about it, and they use it all the time. There's nobody that loves the military more than me. Nobody did.
Exactly. There's money out there. It's the culture is much more open and accepting. It's beautiful weather. You know what I'm saying? Like it's one of the most sought after, coveted places on the planet. I'd love it if Missouri. I'm in Missouri right now. If Missouri could be more like California, that'd be great. Although weed is recreationally legal here now. So, there's that.
Did more for the military. I rebuilt the military. They gave $85 billion of it away to Afghanistan in the dumbest and one of the most horrible things that's ever happened, probably the most embarrassing moment that ever happened to a country.
And she was the last one in the room. And she was the last one in the room when that decision was made.
She was the last one. No, she made the decision. She made the decision, and it was one of the most embarrassing decisions. Not, Brian, not the fact that we got out. The way they got out, I was ready to get out, but I was going to keep Bagram. That's one of the biggest air bases in the world. It was 1 hour away from where China makes their nuclear weapons. 1 hour away. Very important that we keep it. They left Bagram. The biggest runway, most powerful runways can handle the heaviest loads. This was designed billions and billions of dollars years ago. We gave them the keys, and now China occupies Bagram. We should have kept that. That was the one thing we should have stayed, not because of Afghanistan, but because of China, and we gave it up. They took the soldiers out before they did. Soldiers first.
You can't even follow what he's saying. He just won't stop talking.
We left people.
They're not interrupting him at all. They're just
living there that can't get out. 13 great people who I know the families, as you know. 13 great people killed, 45.
Oh God. Okay. And then literally after this, I got it pulled up somewhere. He called into Greg Gutfield's show. And then after that, he called into Newsmax. And he's just listening to himself talk. Like he's not, when he does that, he's not really talking to anyone. He's listening to himself speak. That's really what the man is doing. Man, hold on. Let's see. We got a whole bunch of goodies today, man. We got a bunch of good stuff. I'm trying to see if I got it pulled up to where he was, let's see. To where, well, I got it. We'll get there eventually, and now he's posting this stuff like, He said we should have continued occupying Afghanistan to spy on China. And again, like that, where does this shit come from? And he was the one who, in 2016, he ran on getting out of Afghanistan and he didn't do it. And then when Joe Biden did it, oh, we shouldn't either it was the way he did it was wrong, or we just should have stayed there. Meanwhile, while Donald Trump is talking, well, not even Trump, while people are saying, oh, the Democrats are anti-Semitic because they didn't choose Josh Shapiro. And then you got your boy here. You know what I'm saying? Then you got your boy here saying stuff like this. He said, the highly overrated Jewish governor of the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro, made a really bad and poorly delivered speech talking about freedom and fighting for Comrade Kamala Harris for president. Yet he hates Israel and will do nothing but make its... He hates Israel. Oh, okay. Yet he hates Israel. Yet he hates Israel and will do nothing but make its journey through the complexities of survival as difficult as possible, hoping in the end that it will fail, judge only by her actions. Yet Shapiro, for strictly political reasons, refused to acknowledge that I am the best friend that Israel and the Jewish people ever had. I have done more for Israel than any president, and frankly, I have done more for Israel than any person, and it's not even close. He definitely, absolutely made that treasonous call to Netanyahu. He absolutely did it. What does this even mean? I have done more. He said, yet Shapiro, for strictly political reasons, refused to acknowledge. And, Shapiro should have said this in his speech, according to Donald Trump. In the middle of his speech, he should have been like, and Donald Trump, because, Josh Shapiro tries to sound just like Obama. You're like, and Donald Trump has done more for the people of Israel than anybody in the history of the world. Like, he's so stupid. Okay, so yes, he says he refused to acknowledge that I am the best friend that Israel and the Jewish people ever had. I have done more for Israel than any president. Well, Biden's done a whole lot for Israel, so you got a lot of competition right there. And frankly, he says, I have done more for Israel than any person, and it's not even close. What does that mean? What does that even mean? Somebody said Moses would like a word. Bill Crystal. Bill Crystal still doing his thing. I mean, I often struggle to believe that Donald Trump is a real person. Like I have some rather eccentric beliefs, in fact. And Donald Trump is just like he was birthed of emotion and energy. Like Donald Trump was birthed out of nothing but hatred and pettiness that just colluded together and gave birth to a man. He is made of nothing but pettiness and stupidity and just raging malignant narcissism. And Trump going off talking about, if we don't win in November, the country won't even exist. We got Trent in the building. What's going on? Let's see. We got more from Trump. Everybody be very afraid. If you don't vote for me, only I can stop the show. I mean, only I can stop the country from totally collapsing, he says. We got to go to X to look at this. I don't really want to because I still have so much stuff pulled up. He said, if we don't win I'll just read it. He said, if we don't, and this is low energy Trump, so he doesn't have a high voice. He said, if we don't win on November 5th, I think our country is going to cease to exist. It could be the last election we ever have. I actually mean that. If we don't win, I think this could be the last election we ever have. What is this?
Former President Donald Trump is under fire again.
Okay, we can go on because, again, I got so much stuff pulled up. Oh, now, check this out. This is just one poll. It's just one poll. At the end of the day, polls are all about trends more than anything else. But might we be able to get Ted Cruz out of the Senate? Might that be a possibility? Texas, let's go. Let's go, Texas. Get this man out. Let's have let's have a wonderful election period. Ted Cruz is I think he's only up by 2 in this poll. Let's get Ted Cruz up out of here, man. All right. And again, Kamala Harris is just complete. I pulled this up for Ted Cruz's poll because I mean, Kamala Harris is just destroying Trump in the polls. Like it's not, it won't stop. So this again, I really pulled this up more about Ted Cruz because man, if we can get that man up out of there, woo, let's do it. Let's see. Where is it? Here we go. The latest survey also recorded a 2-point lead for the U.S. Senator Ted Cruz over his Democratic challenger, U.S. Rep. Colin Allred, virtually unchanged from the June poll. In the new survey, 46.6% of likely voters said they intend to vote for the Republican senator, compared to 44.5%. If you know, it said that this is similar to another poll. It's just one poll, but if this is kind of like what it's set at, I'm pretty sure that Texas also has ballot initiatives. So I think there's a good chance to get Ted Cruz up out of the Senate, which would just be incredible because, Ted Cruz is, he's one of the worst. He's one of the smarmiest, most slimy, weaselly people I've ever had the displeasure of knowing exists. So let's get Ted Cruz up out of there, man. And yes, and again in 2018, he only beat Beto O'Rourke by 2.6 percentage points. So I think there's maybe a strong chance to get Ted Cruz out of the Senate. So let's go, Texas. Let's go, Texas. Let's get Ted Cruz up out of there. We got Dragon. What you said, Dragon? I said I would love a world where I never have to see Ted Cruz in his dumbass face ever again. Indeed, indeed. Indeed. Again, let's root on Texas. If you got some extra spare change, send it to Colin Allred's campaign so that we can just get Ted Cruz gone, because that would definitely make the world a better place if Ted Cruz is no longer in the Senate. All right, let's get more to how JD Vance is the worst VP pick in history and one of the strangest men that we've ever had in public life. I already know y'all saw the donut shop thing where they just did not give a damn that he was running for vice president. But that's not what this is. More on JD, Mr. Vance. We got, let's see. JD Vance promoted book that prescribes repealing the Civil Rights Act because, of course, that's exactly what we need. The world, the world was a better place when people didn't have any rights. Objectively, that's just the objective truth. Let's dig down. Let's dig into it. JD Vance praised a counter-revolutionary book that calls for the repeal of the Civil Rights Act and enacting policies to discourage women from working outside the home. That's just what we need. He knows best. 39-year-old JD Vance. He's we got to listen to him. Vance spoke in December at the launch of Up from Conservatism. Maybe I don't know what that is. An essay collection edited by the Claremont Institute's Arthur Milik at the U.S. Capitol Visitor Center in Washington, D.C., where he championed the team that put the book together and talked up the ideas they promoted. Quote, "Congratulations on such a great book, and thanks for getting such a good crew together," Vance told the gathering. Quote, "Republicans, conservatives, we're still terrified of wielding power, of actually doing the job that the people sent us here to do. Isn't it just common sense that when we're given power, we should actually do something with it? Am I right? Am I right? Am I right or am I right? Come on, guys." The book encourages a, quote, "new right to shove aside a conservative movement seen as too accommodating." Oh, yeah, because, conservatives love compromising. "Too accommodating, and then destroy its enemies on the left, who the authors see as an impediment to their domination of political and social life." Quote, "The new right recognizes the left as an enemy, not merely an opposing movement, because the left today promotes a tyrannical conception of justice that is irreconcilable with the American idea of justice. Irreconcilable justice. We want gay people to be able to marry each other. We don't want trans people to be hunted down and abused for being who they are. It's so unjust. It is so unjust what the left in this country wants. The new right is a counter-revolutionary and restorative force. The counter-revolution to progress. That's all that means. We like to say that one must learn to govern, but a truer expression is that one must learn to rule. Well, at least they're saying it. At least they're saying it out loud because, of course, Republicans, they're not so. At least right now, for certain, they really ain't too big on the concept of government. Who needs the Department of Education? Just get rid of it. Who needs public education? We just gotta subjugate people. So at least they're saying it out loud. Brad Onishi, author of Preparing for War, a critical examination of Christian nationalism, said Vance and the post-liberal conservatives he associates with are promoting an invasive government that prioritizes straight white men and looks to outlaw homosexuality, contraception, and pornography. Again, weirdos. You guys are weird. These people are just really, really strange about sex in general. They really are. They want a government that expands the executive branch in order to bypass the processes that are often arduous in the legislative and even in the judicial branches. Because fuck what the people want. We just want what we want. We want to subjugate you people. JD Vance, aka the worst to ever do it. The worst to ever do it. All right, what we got now? I got so much stuff open. Did y'all see the My Pillow guy going undercover to yell at the 12-year-old activist at the DNC? My man's put on his Heisenberg disguise. I think he took his mustache off, put on a fedora, put on some shades. My man's went in there on his Heisenberg type of time and epically lost to a 12-year-old. So let's check that out. Let's check out Mr. Mandel. My Pillow guy goes undercover to yell at 12-year-old at DNC, gets absolutely schooled. All right.
You are. You go to paper ballots and count. Ask him what proof he has in the spirit. Why? How do you know? Which election are you talking about? There was one. No. There was one down in Georgia. 3 Democrats.
I'm from Georgia.
Okay. There's 3 Democrats in Georgia in the summer of 20.
This dude is arguing with a 12-year-old. He turned his life around, was very successful with My Pillow, and he threw it all in the trash can for the likes of Donald Trump. And now he's arguing with 12-year-olds and losing.
22. She's a good friend of mine. She got 0 votes in her own precinct.
Who is it?
So Brenda, I'm not telling you her last name.
I see.
But you see. But let me tell you.
No proof.
The proof. They looked into it in Georgia.
Okay.
Crooked Brad Rasmussen, your Republican Secretary of State.
Okay.
He looked into it and said, oh, it was a computer error. They gave her back her vote. She went from third to first. She's a friend of mine. Another gal, Democrat, 4 counties over in Georgia. She got 4,600
But where's
votes,
the proof?
but she wasn't on the ballot.
You want me to take your word for it, right?
No. This was in the paper.
So what's her last name? She's an elected official.
Okay, let me tell you. In Georgia, I will tell you, an Obama-appointed judge last fall, this case been going on 3.5 years. Alex Halderman, this is in your state, so you should be up on that. Alex Halderman, he's a Democrat, and he's also a cyber guy, and he looked into the machine, and he said there's problems. That judge last fall she ruled in your state. She said, we're going to look into this, we're bringing it to court, and the experts say there's problems, and she said, and if you question it, you're not a conspiracy theorist. So I got to take off my tinfoil hat. Now guess that, in her courtroom on January 9th in Georgia, now maybe you didn't see this in the news, maybe you're not up on things. Alex Halderman,
I am. I'm up on your bankruptcy too,
Alex Halderman with a ballpoint pen hacked into the machine in front of...
Man, oh my God.
Hey, Mike. Hey, can I just ask a quick question, sir? Yeah. Why are you denying the results of the fair and free election?
I didn't deny any of the results. I'm trying to get rid of paper ballots and get rid of machines and go to paper ballots and count.
Ask him what proof he has in the spirit. How do you know
it's talking about? There was one. No. There was one down in Georgia. 3 Democrats.
I'm from Georgia.
Okay. There's 3 Democrats in Georgia in the summer of 22. She's a good friend of mine. She got 0 votes in her own precinct. So Brenda, I'm not telling you her last name.
I see.
Yeah, he said, "Who is it?" No, I'm not going to tell you her last name. Because we want to keep her safe. We're talking about an election system that just doesn't work. Mike Lindell with the claim that our electoral system just absolutely does not work, but he don't want to give up names.
But let me tell you, the proof. They looked into it in Georgia. Crooked Brad Rasmussen, your Republican Secretary of State, he looked into it and said, oh, it was a computer error. They gave her back her vote. She went from third to third. She's a friend of mine. Another gal, Democrat, 4 counties over in Georgia, she got 4,600.
But where's the proof?
She wasn't on the ballot.
You want me to take your word for it, right?
No, this was in the paper.
So what's your last name? She's an elected official.
Okay, let me tell you. In Georgia, I will tell you, an Obama appointed judge last fall.
My man says fallen far. He has fallen far,
I'm
man.
okay. He provided no facts, no sources. He refused to give me the last name. He said for privacy, but elected officials provide their last names if they want the votes. So I'm confused as to why his source was trust me, bro.
Mike Lindell just got
Smart dude. He's definitely a very smart 12-year-old. Yeah, I think he keeps that up. He definitely has a solid future in politics. But my man, Mike Lindell is at the DNC arguing with children and losing in epic fashion. Speaking of losing in epic fashion, it looks like Mark Robinson out of North Carolina is not doing well, which is good news, man. Let's get these weirdos out of here. Let's get these people out of here. And and Mark Robinson is just an appalling person. He really is. He's just ugh. And I don't know if y'all see. Well, the other day I was streaming. Donald Trump was making fun of. He was calling Mark Robinson fat. He was like, "If you weigh more than 200 pounds, don't come up here." Far right MAGA candidate losing in a blowout and dragging Trump down with him. I think it's definitely a yin and yang type of thing. You may be dragging down Trump, and Trump is absolutely dragging you down too. Yes, but again, good news for us because this guy is just something else. Far right North Carolina Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson's bid for governor appears to be in trouble, and furthermore, it seems to be jeopardizing former President Donald Trump's own chances of carrying a state he narrowly won twice. Let's see, a new poll from Survey USA found Robinson trailing Democratic State Attorney General Josh Stein by a whopping 48 to 34. Damn. Vice President Kamala Harris, meanwhile, is up on Trump by a hair in a near tie at 46 to 45. 48 to 34. Well, let's keep that up because not only is Mark Robinson an absolutely ridiculous person, but he's also really annoying. And I'd rather not really have to talk about him that much. Robinson, I'm making this all about me right now. It's all about me and what I want. Robinson, a guns right activist who shocked the political world with his under the radar win for lieutenant governor 4 years ago, even as Democratic Governor Roy Cooper won re-election. My bad. Has come repeatedly under fire for controversial past statements, including that he is skeptical of the Holocaust, that America was better before women had the right to vote, that school shooting survivors are prostitutes. What? School shooting survivors are prostitutes. Oh my God. These people are they're a joke, man. And again, like they can cause a lot of damage, and they have caused a lot of damage, but just like, oh, these people are ridiculous. Oh, we got Merc Tech back in the building. He's going to try really hard to trigger everybody. That's all he's going to do while he's here. So just a heads up. He's going to say really stupid things. And so whatever. All right. Let's see. Yes, I do want some food. Somebody texted me asking about some food. Oh. He has also faced scrutiny over his personal career, with accusations he failed to file income taxes for 5 years and that he and his wife falsified paperwork on the qualifications of employees they hired. All right. Well, again, my man's is down 48 to 34. That is that says a lot. It's just one poll, but that is not good news for Mark Robinson. Where we at? Let's get into. No, damn it. I don't want to subscribe to this. Screw you, Kansas City Star. Hold on, let's get back. Let me get to this because I want to go to again. There's some ballot measures. There are ballot measures all across America, and in Missouri, we got a $15 minimum wage is on the ballot, and we also have abortion on the ballot. Again, I think there's also abortions also on the ballot in Arizona. I think it's there's ballot measures in Texas as well, also in Nevada, which is going to drive voter turnout even more. So let's check this out real quick. Missouri, let's get into some local politics. Let's get into some local Missouri politics. All right. Missouri governor candidates disagree on raising minimum wage. Where do they stand? Excuse me. The two major candidates for Missouri governor are offering diverging positions on raising the state's minimum wage as voters prepare for a statewide vote in November. Republican Lieutenant Governor Mike Kehoe opposes the increase, saying it would harm small businesses. Of course, Democratic House Minority Leader Crystal Quad supports it, arguing that increasing the minimum wage would help families stay afloat. This is the most typical Republican versus Democrat stance on minimum wage I've ever read. I mean, we got a little bit more information down here, but it was like, oh, there's going to be something real new and different. No, it's just the same old shit. Republicans saying that if we raise the minimum wage by a single dollar, then the economy is going to collapse, and Democrats saying no, we should raise it a little bit. Missouri voters will decide on the measure called Proposition A on November 5th. It would gradually raise the minimum wage from $12.30 an hour to $15 an hour in 2026. On the same ballot, voters will elect the next governor, a decision that could have significant consequences. The minimum wage proposal would change state law, not the state constitution, which means lawmakers could vote to repeal the measure if it passes. Whoever is elected governor would have the power to approve or veto any effort to repeal the plan. Kehoe and Quad secured their party's nominations in the August primaries earlier this month, setting up a showdown in the November general election. Republicans control every statewide office in the state, and Quad faces an uphill battle. Missouri is a very red state, so she absolutely faces an uphill battle. The ballot initiative, again, abortion's also on the ballot, so that could help her out a lot in this race, but we'll see. This is Missouri at the end of the day. Kehoe, who previously owned a prominent car dealership in Jefferson City, which is the capital of Missouri, opposes raising the state's minimum wage. In a statement to the Star, he pointed to how he started his career washing cars at age 15. He said he values the opportunity for small businesses to employ young, hardworking Missourians. We don't want to pay you, motherfuckers. Nothing. We don't want to pay you. Fuck raising the minimum wage, he says. This measure will destroy opportunities for young working Missourians and harm small businesses. He said a good job market will raise wages for everyone. Yeah, because that's how it goes down. It just, corporations and stuff, they just out of the goodness of their hearts. So they're always raising people's wages. Oh, wait, that hardly ever happens unless you make them do it. There are definitely larger companies that take care of their workers, but more and more it just doesn't happen, and that's something that the left and the right understand pretty well, that corporate America screws people over constantly. Whether that's the increase in the minimum wage to ensure working Missourians are able to keep up with inflation or making sure workers can accrue paid sick leave, Missouri workers need the support. Well, we'll see what happens, because again, this is how it would go. It would grow to $13.75 on January 1st, 2025, and $15 an hour by January 2026. So we will keep our eyes on that. We will find out what happens when it's time. And we also got let's see, we got why do I think they're so afraid of Trump? Because they have no spine and they don't stand for anything. That's why they're so afraid of Trump. They're just career politicians, and that's all they care about is securing their victories whenever their elections are up. And in their eyes, and largely correctly that they've measured this, if they do anything against Donald Trump, then their election prospects are in trouble. However, that Trump juice, the Trump juice has kind of ran out. So, Ted Cruz, I'm really hoping that we can get him up out of here because not much of anybody likes him. Republicans don't even like Ted Cruz. He's just not a likable guy. All right, and more ballot measures. We got I'm pretty sure I think one of the I'm pretty sure Costco actually has a really good jobs program. People start off at like $20 an hour. There's a lot of opportunities to move up. From what I know at least. All right, abortion is also on the ballot in Montana. So again, this is going to drive more voters to the polls than otherwise would. We got, let's see. Montana abortion measure gives Democrats glimmer of hope for tester seat. Democrats have a new pep in their step for one of their most at-risk Senate seats this cycle, but it's not because of Vice President Kamala Harris. Enshrining abortion rights in Montana's constitution will come before voters in Big Sky Country this November after receiving enough signatures to appear on the ballot, buoying Democrats' hopes that it will help Senator John Tester, who is running for a fourth term in a state former President Donald Trump won by 16 points in 2020. Safe to say that Trump will definitely win Montana again. I would be highly surprised if he didn't win Montana. I mean, that's not even really a state the Democrats are putting a lot of resources into. But we talking about the Senate right now. Quote, it's going to allow us to not only bring people to the polls to vote for an issue that they care deeply about, but at the same time, when they're voting for the Senate, they're voting to see exactly where those folks are on that issue. Montana is just one of several states where protecting abortion rights will also be on the ballot, joining Senate battlegrounds such as Arizona, Nevada, and Florida. Yo, Donald Trump is gonna, man. Again, it doesn't help that this is on the ballot in states that he needs to win, and Kamala's continuing to go up in the polls. And again, as we talked about, she has more offices open in these states. She has a stronger ground game. She has more people knocking on doors, making phone calls. She has more of everything. But this is going to really cause Democrats to outperform the polls as they have been since 2022. But this is not good news for Donald Trump at all. That abortion's on the ballot in these states where he's losing ground and just flat out losing in many of the states. Peters pointed to 2022 when voters in battleground Michigan turned out in an off-year election to add abortion protection to the state's constitution as evidence that the ballot measures can aid Democratic candidates. In a post-Roe v. Wade era, voters in Ohio and Kansas in off-year elections have also approved constitutional measures for abortion access. I think anywhere that abortion access is on the ballot, I think it's very likely that people will come out to protect it because 6-week abortion bans are completely insane. People are going to turn out, and those young people are going to turn out just like we saw in Michigan, just like we saw in places like Ohio when they had it on the ballot. Peter said, like we saw in Kansas, of all places. Republicans are scoffing at such a notion, particularly in Ruby Red, Montana. Polling suggests former Navy SEAL and Republican Senate nominee Tim Shee has in recent months overcome Tester's once marginal lead and is now in an average of roughly 2 points ahead, though still within the margin of error. We will keep our eyes on this. But yes, abortion being on the ballot is honestly really, really bad news for Donald Trump, especially because Trump goes around bragging about the reversal of Roe v. Wade, which, he says everyone wanted this. For 52 years, people have wanted this. Like, nah, Republicans haven't even wanted that. So, yeah, bad news for Trump. We got the Supreme Court. It looks like the Supreme Court actually did something to help protect voting rights a little bit. So let's see what's up with this in Arizona. Oh, is it up on the screen? There we go. Supreme Court blocked some of Arizona proof of citizenship requirements for November election. The Supreme Court on Thursday declined to revive parts of a Republican backed Arizona law that could have barred thousands of voters from casting a ballot in the November presidential contest or voting by mail, but it permitted other controversial requirements of that law to take effect. The Supreme Court left in place a lower court's ruling that barred enforcement of the law that required voters to document their U.S. citizenship to vote in this year's presidential election. This is such a stupid waste of time. I mean, but well, okay. But the idea that just, tons and tons of undocumented immigrants are voting it's not true. It just isn't. But it allowed the state to enforce a requirement that would be voters document their citizenship before registering to vote using a state registration form. In a partial win for Republicans, in other words, proof of citizenship will be required for new voters in some circumstances. Voters who cannot document their citizenship status will still be allowed to register using a federal form. I mean, all you really need is if you have a social security number, then I mean, it seems like a bit more work to do, which obviously is the point. But if you don't have a social security number, you can't vote. You don't exist on paper if you don't have a social security number when it comes to stuff like that. Arizona is a critically important battleground in this year's presidential election. Joe Biden carried the state by just over 10,000 votes in 2020. Donald Trump won it in 2016. The case is likely to be the first of many election-related disputes the Supreme Court will be asked to tackle on an emergency basis this year. The Republican National Committee, joined by state GOP lawmakers who supported the law, had asked the High Court to step into the clash over election rules in the state in case that elevated non-citizen voting. Three conservatives, Justice Clarence Thomas, Samuel Alito, and Neil Gorsuch, said they would have allowed more of the state's proof of citizenship requirements to take effect, barring currently registered voters from casting a presidential ballot. Four others, liberal justices Sonia Sotomayor, Elena Kagan, Ketanji Brown Jackson, and conservative justice Amy Coney Barrett, would have kept all the contested provisions of the law on hold. Arizonans may register to vote with a state form or a federal form under the previous system. Residents using either form would be permitted to vote only in federal elections if they declined to submit proof of citizenship or had not already done so with the state's motor vehicles division. So there we go. They kind of kept it in place, but not really. Jerome Powell says it's time to lower interest rates, which also is not good news for Donald Trump's campaign. He would much rather that happen under his administration. It's just like universal karma is just completely shitting on Donald Trump's chances in every way, and part of that karma is him doing it to himself. All right, hold on. Let's see. Whenever it comes up, just give it a second to load. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. Can you do it? Did this shit freeze? Oh, God. There we go. It just took a minute. That's all. We just had to be patient for it to work, but it's good now. Rate cuts on horizon. Jerome Powell says time has come to lower interest rates. Noting that inflation is easing while the job market is weakening, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell provided the strongest signal yet Friday that the central bank plans to begin cutting historically high interest rates in September. He gave no clues on how much the Fed would lower its key rate, but most forecasters expect a quarter-point reduction. Quote, the time has come for policy to adjust, Powell said Friday at the Fed's annual symposium in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Jackson Hole, Wyoming. The direction of travel is clear, and the timing and pace of rate cuts will depend on incoming data, the evolving outlook, and the balance of risks. He added, while the task is not complete, we have made a good deal of progress toward that outcome. My confidence has grown that inflation is on a sustainable path back to 2%, which is the Fed's inflation goal. Again, also, just not good timing for Donald Trump's campaign and the rhetoric that he's putting out. The language had the language and shift in tone is significant. For months, the Fed has said it would not lower its key rate. Now at a 23-year high of 5.25% to 5.5%, until officials were confident inflation was on sustained path to 2%. In June, the Fed's preferred inflation measure was at 2.5%, down from a high of 5.6% in mid 2022. Meanwhile, the torrid post-COVID-19 labor market that saw record job growth and sharply rising wages is softening. Quote, the upside risks to inflation have diminished, Powell said, and the downside risks to employment have increased. It seems unlikely that the labor market will be a source of elevated inflation pressures anytime soon. We do not seek or welcome further cooling in labor market conditions. So we will keep our eyes on this, of course. All right, we just rolling through, baby. We are rolling through. What is this? Hold on, let's see. Do we even need to go over this? Yeah, you already know. You already see Donald Trump saying that basically, unless he wins, the election is not valid. Now, let's get into, I'm sure y'all have seen Ann Coulter, the gargoyle, the ghoul who, made fun of Gus Walls, Tim Walls' son, for loving and admiring his father. And she's getting absolutely dragged all over the place as she deserves. And she, she erased or deleted her tweet, but her excuse was, "Oh, I didn't know he had autism." Like, well, even if he didn't have autism, it's still pretty lame for you to go there, for you to take it there, and everyone's roasting you for good reason. MAGA enters meltdown mode over Tim Walls being an inspiration to his son. Hold on, let's see. I'm trying to see if this shit is my bad. I'm trying to see if it was hot, but it is not. We good. Here's the moment. Go with this bullshit. You know what? That must be what's going on. My shit must be running hot because here we go with this shit again. Here we go with this again. It's running all slow. It's running slow again. I'm gonna have to see what's up. I'm going to have to get to the bottom of this. And then Ann Coulter said, "Talk about weird." You know what I'm saying? Because yeah, it's so strange that that a son admires his father. This is one of the most beautiful moments from it all. Oh God, I don't know what's up with this. I'm gonna have to see what's going on with the CPU. I might have to cut this short if none of this works. Okay, it's all tripping. It's all tripping. All of it is tripping. So let me I'm gonna have to exit off a whole lot of this stuff. It's all good though. We're not gonna complain. We're just gonna get to the bottom of it. I'm gonna hit up my boy Kyle, have him help me out. It's all slow right now, bro. It's all slow. Apparently, in RFK's speech today, when he was talking about dropping out, he said that he could still win the election, or he said if it was fair, then he could still win. Which obviously is, I don't know what he's getting that from. Man, I have some more funny videos from Donald Trump. I don't know if y'all seen when he called into Fox News and he was pressing buttons. He was dialing buttons while he was on the phone. We got Maria Bartiromo and James Comer talking about Tim Walls being a Russian plant. I mean, a Chinese plant. Oh yeah, my laptop is tripping. My laptop is tripping. I'm just gonna do blurbs for y'all. You know what I'm saying? I have a good radio voice. I have a good speaking voice. So instead of the videos, we're just gonna go through the blurbs until we're done. That's just what it is today. The DNC beat the RNC ratings by on night 2 by 39%. Yesterday, 22%. Again, Things like that matter to Donald Trump. That's all he talks about. He talks about rating, talks about how many people tuned in. So yeah, there's definitely that. Don't need this. Oh, we already got Mike Lindell took off his mustache. We got more of this. Oh, let's check this out. This is just something real fun right here. Just something fun. Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes, he says Kanye West once wanted to change his name to a swastika, which is very believable because Kanye West is a provocateur and he does everything because nobody else is doing it. If everyone goes left, he's going to go right no matter what because he's very dumb and he has issues that he needs to get a hold of. So this is him. He says, one day he called me up and I was in what hotel? I would think I was at the Marriott in Santa Monica. I was at the Marriott in Santa Monica. I was chilling in the bed. We were working all day. And like December, I was working over the phone on a tweet. We're writing a tweet and I'm in a bed. What does he say? I'm in a bed. I'm in a bed, whatever that means. I'm on my laptop and he calls me and he's like, hey, what's good? What's going on? I'm like, hey, what's going on? And he's like, hey, he's like, so what if I began Nick Fuentes laughing? He tells me, I don't even know if I should tell this story. And this is one of the recordings I have. Honestly, it was like the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. I was genuinely laughing so hard, continued Fuentes, adding, he told me he wanted to change his name to a swastika. Not making this up. So for anybody that says I made him a Nazi, that's not true, okay? He called me up and out of the blue one afternoon, he's like, so what if I change my name to a swastika? And he starts laughing and I start dying. I'm like, that's the funniest thing I've ever heard. He's like, right. He goes, because then when they say my name, they'll have to put a swastika on the chevron on TV. It's like, dude, I'm like, and I told them, I'm like, I wouldn't, I'm reading it word for word. I'm not tripping. This is what it says. I wouldn't they just put the letters though? He goes, no. He goes, no, I'm not changing my name to the word. He goes, then he said, he corrected me. He said his name wouldn't be spelled SWA. He says, no, his name would be spelled swastika. It would be the symbol. And he was serious. I was laughing my ass off. I was like, well, why don't we think of that? Why didn't we think of that? I'm like, that's kind of a big decision. I'm like, maybe we should hold off on that one. But that is no joke. He's like, what if I, and then, this is so crazy. We're almost done. We're almost finished. So bear with me. And that was one of the many ideas that he shelved. I was like, yeah, that's probably for the better. That was after the Alex Jones interview, after which, by the way, people all the time, they're like, oh, you endorse Kanye. It's like, yep, that's my president. That's my president. That is incredibly believable. I absolutely believe that Kanye West did that because that's the kind of person he is. Speaking of smoking weed, I'm gonna be smoking some weed soon. Miss Thickness, what is going on? How are you doing? Good to have you here. Unfortunately, the I don't know if my computer's too hot or something, but the videos are like all slow, so I don't know if we're gonna be able to watch any more any more videos today. But we're gonna run through the blurbs just in case. Hold on, let's see. Oh, damn it. Oh, this is so annoying. This is so annoying. But yeah, a woman named Elizabeth Booker Houston. I'm trying to see if I can read what she said word for word. We can hear it. Well, we can't listen to it right now. Damn. She went off. She was like, shut the fuck up. And really went in. But everybody is going in on Ann Coulter because she's ridiculous. Man, I got other videos up, but it's looking like it's just not going to work right now. I'm gonna have to get to the bottom of this. Maybe I got to re-download some software on here. Too much porn. We got to ban porn, man. Porn's destroying my computer. But Eric Bowling, he basically is sounding the alarm saying, hey, we're losing in like every imaginable way. We got more people going in on Ann Coulter, calling her a poorly raised piece of shit, which, yes, she absolutely is. We got Fox News saying that it was 100% made up hoax that Beyonce was going to perform at the DNC because, that they need something to talk about. We got more with Ann Coulter getting roasted. We got Fox's Tammy Bruce says that the DNC was based on death and lies, and that Kamala Harris wants to ruin everyone's financial future by putting price caps on groceries. I mean, not price caps, but banning price gouging on things like groceries, which already exists in over 30 states. It's not a new concept. We got Alina Habba. She is mad. Yeah, the videos are just not working right now. We got more of that. What we got? We got a right-wing radio host pulled off air after he attacked Tim Walz's son. Let's see what he had to say about Tim Walz's son. Let's see. And again, this is some of the stuff we just went over. Some of what Ann Coulter said, but this is some of the stuff that was said about But yeah, the porn ban shit is ridiculous. First and foremost, good luck banning that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how you're really going to do that at the end of the day, but yeah, come on. So this is what some of these ridiculous, heartless losers were saying about that. They called him a blubbering bitch boy, saying it was embarrassing for both father and son. Because they're not alpha enough, apparently. Loving and admiring your father is not the alpha thing to do. Yeah, I mean, they're just saying absolutely ridiculous things about Gus. And it's not landing. It's not even just that it's not landing, but it's just making the Republican Party more and more exposed for what it is. It is. These people can't help themselves. Damn, I wish we could listen to this. What is going on? This is the second time it did this shit. Yeah, so Trump called into Fox News after he was on with the 5. He called into Greg Gutfeld and he was like, "Don't say anything that'll get you in trouble." I don't know if y'all have seen, but Fox News is continuously just cutting off Trump. Like when he's doing his speeches and his rallies, they'll play it for a second and they'll cut it off because he just goes into tangents where he's like, it was a coup against Joe Biden. It wasn't fair what they did. 14 million votes. Nobody voted for Kamala Harris. It's the worst thing we've ever like. And then when he starts to do that, they'll cut away and be like, okay, we're going. He calls in and he's just rambling, and they do as best that they can to just cut him off because he's an absolutely ridiculous person. Damn, we can't watch. Can't watch this either. Bill O'Reilly was mad yesterday. He was mad about Kamala Harris yesterday. Fox confronts Trump over posting fake AI, the AI Swifties. Are you worried Taylor is going to sue you? What is this? Oh, we're just gonna read it. We're just gonna read through this because it's short and the video feedback is just not working right now. So we're just gonna read this. He says, "Yeah, no, Fox. They'll cut him off because again, it's like, I mean, Trump has always been like out of it and ridiculous, but not like this. Like he is completely spiraling out of control. So they'll have him on, like they'll show like a few minutes of his rally and then they cut away. All right. He says, I also asked the former president about a bit of controversy on the internet. He posted some images of Taylor Swift that were AI generated. And then from there, the internet was all abuzz that Trump's going to get sued over those images. He says, are you worried you're going to get sued? Are you worried that Taylor Swift is going to sue you? Trump says, I don't know anything about them other than somebody else generated them. I didn't generate them. I only reposted them. I'm not the creator of them originally. Somebody came out. They said, oh, look at this. These were all made up by other people. AI is always very dangerous in that way. It's happening with me too. They're having me speak. I speak perfectly. I mean, absolutely perfectly on AI. And I'm like endorsing other products and things. It's a little bit dangerous out there. Somebody came out and they said, oh, look at this. But you're the one who reposted it. Even though I'm the one who reposted it onto my page, it's not my problem. It's not my fault. Jake Tapper straight up asked Vance if Trump fans hunting. Oh, yeah. I think I saw this. We can't watch the video. I'm just zooming through everything because it's running too hot. The computer is running hot. We already went over that. Kamala Harris has raised $500 million since she's been in. Some of that money was already in the pot, but nonetheless, she's got a lot of money. I think she just spent like $270 million on ads in swing states. We got some good footage of Elizabeth Warren, but can't play that. Fox News publishes a mass GOP endorsement for Kamala Harris. Everybody's secretly trying to just get this dude out of here because it's so obvious that if Trump becomes president again, he's just, I mean, oh, Lord only knows what he would do. And more people are like, you know what? The Democratic Party is actually pretty corrupt. So I think we can still get our way through a lot of things if we just work with the Democrats. So maybe we shouldn't do this. Yeah, but no, yeah, I'll hit you up, Kyle. I think this my laptop is running hot or something. I don't know. We'll get to the bottom of it. We'll figure it out. But yeah, it's really looking bad for Donald Trump and JD Vance. And not only is it looking bad, but it's like every day they wake up and they're like, how can I make things worse for myself? Just in case. But yeah, overall, I think it's pretty clear the direction that things are going. What we need to do now is hold Kamala Harris accountable. We need to push her in the right direction. We need to do everything we can to make good things happen. And what we need to do as well is we need to keep our eyes peeled for things like ballot initiatives. We need to keep our eyes peeled for city council races. We need to do our best to get mayors elected, to get city council members elected, to get defense attorneys elected. We need to do our best to just make a difference as much as we can. The show probably would have been, we would have probably went for like 2 hours and 20 minutes if it wasn't for the videos today, but it's all good. It is all good. We still had a good show. Thank you everybody for joining. And I might stream tomorrow. I got some stuff going on this weekend, but if I don't stream tomorrow, then I will be back on Monday. And y'all have a fantastic weekend. Thank you for everything that you do. I will see you soon.